The current rate of soil loss, by the year 2100, Iowa will be virtually a desert. We will not be able to grow food. In less than 50 years, 80% of Iowa will not have enough soil left to grow anything. That's because we're still losing that at an alarming rate. There's plenty of science out there to show us that the voluntary approach in many ways has failed. Iowa's nutrient reduction strategy, which was established in 2010, to achieve a 45% reduction in nutrients going down the river by, I think, 2025. Clearly, we're not making it. We're going backwards. My name is Tim Wagner. I'm Agricultural Outreach Coordinator for the Izaak Walton League. I am national staff working in Iowa and Illinois. 1 tablespoon of healthy soil contains more microorganisms than are people on the planet. Those microorganisms need a lot of carbon, and they need water, and they need good soil structure in order to survive. Good soil structure comes from roots. That benefits the overall microorganisms' health. When you increase organic matter, i.e. microorganisms, in the soil, you increase dramatically the capacity for soil to do several things. 1 is to grow food, to grow plants. 2 is to retain much more water. 3, no-till. Get away from tilling the soil. There's kind of a common term out there that you're hearing a lot of called recreational tilling. That's probably one of the worst things we can do for the ability of the soil, because you're disrupting the microbial activity, you're disrupting the earthworms that are very important in healthy soil, and you're releasing a whole lot of carbon that should stay in the ground. Carbon is very important for plant growth, very important for soil health. And when you till it, you're releasing a lot of that carbon. Making sure that soil is covered 12 months out of the year, going to establish a root system, and then it covers that, it grows actually throughout the winter months. Research is clearly showing now that nitrogen actually can burn the soil, can actually burn the microbes, kill the microbes, and so we end up creating a system where your plants are depending on the synthetic fertilizer versus what should be in the soil itself to provide nutrients for that plant. The microbes are going to sustain much easier when you've got all kinds of microbial activity and good soil structure. Or over applications of pesticides and herbicides do the same thing. They kill the very organisms in the soil that are necessary for growing healthy soil. Tiling in many ways can act as a direct conduit for those nitrates and phosphorus and other pollutants to go directly into the creeks, into our rivers, contaminating our underground water systems, contaminating wells, and eventually go down the Mississippi River and feed in the hypoxic zone in the Gulf. If you're getting 4 or 5 inches of rain in an hour with conventional infiltration rates, that's water that's running off the top of the soil and taking the soil with it. Right now we're losing on average in Iowa about 5 tons per acre per year. And in some counties and in some events, we're seeing that go upwards of 40 to 50 tons per acre.
What's a 10-inch rain in a matter of a few hours?
Yeah.
How much soil does that take down the river?
Oh, it's unbelievable what's happening. We're still having dramatic rates in soil loss, where that soil can take upwards of 100 years to form per inch. We're losing at a much faster rate than we can replenish it. Most agronomists like Jerry Hatfield and others around the country will tell you there is no acceptable amount of soil loss. None. We should be losing none. And we can do that. But there again, you got to go to no-till, you got to have the ground covered up year-round, and you got to develop root structure and using a range of cover crops and good crop diversity, and also crop rotation and livestock rotation. Livestock is also one of those keys of developing soil health. You can increase soil health and you can become more profitable and less dependent on farm subsidies, for example, less dependent on the discounts you get on premium for your crop insurance, by making your farmland much more resilient, much more profitable. You're putting the practices back on the ground the way Mother Nature intended. There's a paradigm shift that has to happen in the farm community and in the general public as well. There's plenty of science out there to show us that the voluntary approach in many ways has failed. Iowa's nutrient reduction strategy, which was established in 2010 to achieve a 45% reduction in nutrients going down the river by, I think, 2025. Clearly, we're not making it. We're going backwards. I hear phrases like precision ag, and and that's a good catchphrase for farmers who have a $300,000 tractor with this massive computer display in their tractor. But is that precision ag concept being utilized to just do more of the same, or is it being utilized to improve soil health? And that's a big question. And I think every farmer needs to consider that.